Hello teachers and good afternoon. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat and welcome to our stream for today. No, this is our usual Thursday stream. So magbalik po tayo sa schedule natin last week. Medyo nagkaroon tayo ng problems in terms of our schedule because of some changes that we have to accommodate last week. No? But we're back, especially for our March series. We'll be having our entire March series on our usual Thursday and Saturday schedules. Okay, so again, maraming salamat and welcome to our afternoon stream today. Before we start siguro, I'd like to greet our teachers from our chat, live chat today. Okay, before we proceed with our session for today. Alam ko po, you are all excited. Okay, you're anticipating our speaker for today. No, even I, is actually very excited to meet and to also hear the trends, best practices and innovations on our neighboring country, which is Indonesia. Very close, culturally, geographically. So a lot to learn from our speaker for today. But before we do that, let's first greet our teachers from the chat. I'd like to start with Teacher Lord Lena. Good afternoon, Teacher Jeffrey Beltran, Pastor Manny Garcia, Teacher Roxanne Altea Fernandez, Teacher Carol Sombria, Teacher Glenda Aloran, Teacher Marvin Francisco, Teacher RM Ana Lizelle, Teacher Eric Dayaw Mercader, Teacher Jeza Monton, Teacher April Joy Pacoma, Teacher Madeline Diego, okay, Teacher Yandris Mena, Teacher Melanie Dalingay, Teacher Regina Rose Regidor, good afternoon po, Teacher Patricia Yvonne P. Katungal, Teacher Gemma Rivera, Teacher Jocelyn Prades, Teacher Hedayatur Raman Romadona, Teacher Maria Ana Feso Malinog, Teacher Mary Grace Castillo, Teacher Romel Rosita, Teacher Lawrence Franz Floteldes, and Teacher Joanne Joy Frane. And like to all end my greetings with Teacher Galicia Glenn L. Now, for the rest po, magandang hapon. I think we also have viewers coming from the country of our speaker, no? Of course, the fans of our speaker will definitely be here to watch for his sharing for this afternoon. Okay, so before we start, teachers, no? Okay, so we'd like to contextualize first because this is the first episode, no? No pressure to our speaker. He'll be starting off and he'll be creating the momentum for our March series because which is a very different series that we've had so far, because before we've had like repeated series, okay, or series that have common themes, but this time it's an entirely different series. Okay, so for our March series, we're taking on global education, in a sense, not really the global education that we know of, but in a way, what we want to do for our March series is to learn from other countries. What are other countries been doing in terms of like education? Okay, especially that we're transitioning back to the classroom. Okay, we'd also want to hear what they're doing, what are the struggles, challenges, pivoting, or solutions that they have done, or innovations that they have done in order to adapt to the ever-changing educational landscape. We'll be having speakers. For now, we'll be having our speakers from Indonesia. We'll also be having speakers from Europe, Japan, Australia, US, to share with us different trends, best practices, and innovations from different parts of the world. So I hope, teachers, that you all anticipate all our sessions for March series, okay? And definitely this one we're going to start in a really high note, no? Okay. And one of the reasons why, one is that I'm really a fan of our speaker for today. I've been following him since I entered the Google Trainer Circle. Okay. But aside from that, is that there's a benefit on understanding what's happening in education from a geographical perspective. Okay. So since Indonesia very close to us, context-wise, we may be experiencing the same things or challenges that we're facing the same challenges, and that's what we want to learn from. Okay, what Indonesia has been doing during the pandemic, and now that we are transitioning back to the classroom. So I hope that you appreciate our prepared session for this afternoon. Okay, on education in Indonesia, trends, best practices, and innovations. And of course, okay, it is my honor, okay, before we invite him, no, to our stream for today, let me first introduce, okay, our speaker for this afternoon, okay, who will be leading our discussion, okay. So Sir Steven is a passionate Google for Education certified coach, trainer, innovator, coach for Southeast Asia 2019. Steven has also extensive 7 years of teaching and 9 years of training leaders, change management, and educators in multiple international and local corporations, schools, and universities in Indonesia. Currently, he is a lead coach at Terefo, Google for Education professional development partner in Indonesia. He successfully helped 1,000 plus Indonesian Ministry of Education and Culture school leaders to become Google certified educators who train also 100,000 plus educators across Indonesia. We cannot, or I can no longer contain the excitement. Let us welcome to our stream Sir Steven Sotantro.
Hi, Franco. Nice to see you here. Good afternoon, teachers from the Philippines.
Yes,
Wow.
welcome and good afternoon, Sir Steven. I hope that you have been welcomed warmly by our community. They have sent their warm regards in the chat. And again, thank you. Ngayon pa, as early as now, Sir Steven, we thank you for gracing our community.
Yeah, it's been so amazing to be part of the Kagapay teacher support here. I can see the excitement from the chat. I'm reading that and inviting my teacher also from Indonesia to join. Probably they will also reply in the chat and feel free to connect. And it's very exciting to see you all today.
Yes, no, I think there will be a nice interaction between Indonesian teachers and Filipino teachers in our chat. And now, Sir Steven, we already have some viewers from Indonesia no, coming in into their stream. So, teachers, please do interact, no, ask questions, okay, share experiences. Let this be also a venue for discussion and a venue for collaboration between Indonesian teachers and also Filipino teachers. Now, Sir Steven, before I give you the floor for this afternoon, I'd like to first ask what a short or an overview of your session for today. What would be the expected coverage or things that we're going to talk about in your session for today?
So yeah, pretty straightforward. My session we'll discuss about in the education in Indonesia. It's more on the trends, best practice, and innovation, especially from my perspective as a trainer coach who are helping the Ministry of Education currently to help teachers transitioning for hybrid learning. So it's going to be super interactive, and I would like to see you all asking a lot of questions and discuss how we can also bring this best practice to the Philippines, and that will be so much exciting. Yes.
Yes, thank you so much, Sir Steven. And we're excited. Okay, I think we can now begin, Sir Steven, with your session. So, teachers, while Sir Steven is preparing his presentation, please be reminded that this is a certified session. You'll be getting a certificate for this session. Just make sure that you answer the evaluation link we'll be posting at the end of the session. Okay, and don't forget that our certificates are sent in 5 to 7 days, no, not immediately right after the session. Okay. So, Sir Steven, good luck on your session, and I'll be at the back in the background, okay, and interacting in the chat with our teachers.
Thank you, Franco. And please allow me to share my screen first. I'll be just sharing my screen for presenting my session. Good afternoon, teachers, again. I can feel right now Philippines is closer than I thought. I've never thought that I really miss Philippines, as you might see. I've been visiting Philippines twice, actually. First in 2014, and the second one in 2019. And I'm I really miss Philippines. As you might see on the picture, I miss Jollibee because I don't have the restaurant. And thank you so much for teacher who are replying Selamat Siang or Good Afternoon. And it's very amazing for me to be part of the community here. And thank you so much, Sir Franco, for bringing me here. And for those Indonesian teachers who probably watching right now, I would like you to also drop a chat and try to greet our Filipinos teachers, because I know some Filipino want to also learn from you. I can see Hidayat Rahman Romadona is from the from Indonesia. And I can see some teacher also from Indonesia here. And please, Palukman Hakim from Riau, thank you so much for joining the session. And I would like to see how we can actually connect each other. And because that's one of my favorite people. Oh, I can see Mr. Paulo here. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Philippines is it's really like always in my heart now. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Okay, everyone. First thing first, I would like to introduce myself again. I'm Steven. I'm Google Certified Trainer, Innovator, and Coaches from Indonesia. And that's my Instagram and Twitter account. So for those of you who want to follow me on social media, you are more than welcome. Just like Sir Franco mentioned, he learns a lot, and I would like to get connected with you every time. Please feel free to chat, and because I'm very very excited to know each of the teachers. And yeah, I tweet a lot about best practice from education. And yeah, thank you so much. I can see the warmness of your community, Sir Franco, here. Thank you. And probably a little bit background about myself. I'm currently work at Revo. Revo is a Google for Education partner, and I'm currently working closely with Indonesia Ministry of Education to help teachers to get certified. I know Sir Franco has done amazing job also in the Philippines, right? You're educating and preparing certified educator. I can see you are also running the boot camp. Exactly, Indonesia too. Indonesia, we have around 6,000 Google certified educator trained, and just like Sir Franco, oh my gosh, we also have a YouTube channel, Revo Indonesia. You can actually, Mr. Hidayato, would you mind to put the link of our YouTube channel? Just like Sir Franco, YouTube channel here is really amazing. And totally, we have trained around 100 teachers working together with Pak Lukman here. I can see Hidayatul, Mariam, and there are some Indonesian teacher I can see from here and attending. We are working together and collaborating with a lot of different schools and parties, and to really transform Indonesia education here. And today, what we are sharing is really about how we can actually work together to transform education in our country. And hopefully you learn a lot from it. Yeah. Because what we have always vision is really to build the people. Because when we build in people and we build our futures. Before I start, just want to share with you simple evidence that I've been visiting the Philippines. I really forget the name of the food there, but I really love the food in the Philippines. I went to Manila in 2019. I took a picture of the food there. I don't know if any Filipino teacher here can remind me again of the name of the food. Please write on the chat because I really miss that food actually. I think also I did training last time in the Philippines, in a university at that time. So yeah, Mr. Jose, yeah, there's a lot of amazing food there that I love. So I really hope after this pandemic I can go back and meet you all. Yeah. So this is all about me. And while we are waiting, I want to make sure that this session is super interactive. Um, oh, I can see from the answer is very, very nice here. Oh, yeah, sir. Bangus. Yeah, and balut. I miss balut also. Oh my God. I love the food there. All right. I don't know. Now I'm gonna testing you. A simple. I would like to share with you a simple testing here. So I share myself of visiting Philippines before, but now I would like you to share what do you know about Indonesia and what do you want to know about Indonesia. So if you could probably click the link here, Mr. Franco, can you please try to put the link on bit.ly/one word Indo? I would like you to share also what do you know about Indonesia and what do you want to know about Indonesia education, because I know teachers, you are amazing, and I really want us to get to know each other. So if you could like put the link here, thank you. I can see like two people are joining, so please feel free to write on the chat here your name, just nickname. You don't have to give a full name, so I would probably know this is from Indonesia or from the Philippines. Thank you. Okay. Now, thank you, Mr. Yasman from Indonesia here. Also joining from Nias, our beautiful island. Okay, thank you, people. All right, I want to know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, you could probably write one word here. Thank you. I can see Indonesian and Philippine. Oh yeah, if there's any Indonesian teachers joining, please feel free to write. Also, Jam, because I would like you to also introduce yourself. Okay, I think I'll need to have more table and columns if it's not fit. Thank you, thank you. Wow, I can see a lot of people are super excited right now. Okay. Wow, I can see a lot of teachers now. Mr. Franco, you have amazing and super interactive teacher here. Exactly what I really love. Thank you. I can see one word about Indonesia is friendly. Thank you. I really hope that you can feel that friendliness. Thank you, Miss Claire. Beautiful culture. Thank you, thank you. Hinduism. All right. Beautiful. Okay. Yeah, today is actually like a big national holiday for Hindu. So I can get it Hinduism. Okay, okay. All right. So I can see some of you also write about what do you want to know about Indonesia trends? You want to know about the use of language, integration of the education technology. You want to know about the people and okay, Rich Carter. Oh, thank you so much for very very nice words, teachers. Oh my gosh, really love how you put the word here. Thank you, thank you. Oh yeah, how many of you been in Bali before? I think some of you been in Bali because yeah, Bali um is one of the most popular island. Thank you, Miss Mary mentioned about very friendly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you. Also, I can say, Mr. Franco and the teacher here, Filipino is I can say it like my second home because every time I go back there, I always have friends who want to talk or bring me to any museum and any restaurant, which is really awesome. So I can say that your country is really cool and super friendly as well. And I'm very, very I mean, like like your country and your people always stay in my heart. I mean, like I cannot forget. So I definitely promise I'll go back in 2022 or next year after the pandemic over. Yeah, I really hope I can meet Mr. Franco face to face and with amazing teachers here. All right, thank you so much. Thank you for putting this very kind word. And I can see some of you writing amazing word here. And that's actually what I'm expecting today. If you would like to access later on the slide, Mr. Franco, I put it also here. So all the presentation that I will share today, I have put it on the Google Docs, as you might see here. If you click this Indonesia education trend, you can actually click this link, and later on you can actually learn after the session about what happened in Indonesia and what do you want to know about Indonesia. Yeah. All right, I can see teachers are collaborating and so excited. Now I'm going back to the my presentation again. Wow, thank you so much for sharing amazing words here and questions. All right, I'm going to start with you. I am actually similar with Mr. Franco. I can say myself as like a twins, but I probably I'm also Google certified innovator in 2014. This is where my first time, believe it or not, Philippines is the first country that I traveled. Um, and I cannot forget that in 2014. So actually, I did the teacher academy in 2014, and after that, I become a coach in Google Certified Innovator Coach at C19 in Singapore. And yeah, same. I'm actually joining the coaching panel on Google Innovator Academy in 21. I don't know if is there anyone here, Mr. Franco from Google Certified Innovator joining also. If you are here, please feel free to write on the chat because I'm one of the coaches. So yeah, that's actually my background. And I would like to say that before the pandemic, I don't know with Mr. Franco, but for me, I used to do a lot of training, teachers training on site. This is the picture that I took from February 2020. And I don't know, teachers, like starting from March, I have to bring all of my training to online. And how many of you would agree with me? In last 2 year, oh my god, I'm gonna say like, I don't think I'm ready for this, like fully doing this fully online. And but now I think all of the teachers here, because of you guys are connected, Mr. Franco are preparing you all so well. How many of you feeling, I mean, like, are more prepared now, or do you feel like you still unprepared for doing this online? uh, you can actually write on the chat if you ever felt the same, if you feel like you don't ready. But that's happened to me actually all the time. Yeah. And would like to share with you the situation in Indonesia currently. As I don't know, teachers, you could probably share Indonesia or the Philippines. You can actually share. No, I can see you, some of you mentioned it's still a challenge, Miss Pau. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's also a challenge for me in March 2020, but now we have no choice. And I would like to share with you, many of you asking questions about how about Indonesia right now? Is it still the same in the Philippines? I'm going to ask you question also. So this is what I'm going to share with you. Currently in Indonesia, these rules are applying in January 2020. Yeah, I can see some of you are still learning, same. But we also have quite dynamic rules that is adapting with the situation. I don't know what happened in the Philippines. Can you please share on the chat what happens now in the Philippines? Are you doing a full online learning, or is it like hybrid learning, or is it like totally still like online learning? Can you try to write on the chat, because I would like to know. Well, also I'm sharing what happened in Indonesia. As you might see, Indonesia is huge. Yeah, I think what we have is similar with in I mean like just like as you see before. Sorry, this is Indonesia. We have, as you mentioned before, we are one of the biggest archipelago country. Yeah, we have like around 17,000 islands, and wow, it's huge. And that's why the situation is unstable. It depends on the level of COVID now. And oh, thank you so much for answering the questions here. I can see some of you are still doing a full online sessions, and some of you are preparing for face to face. Thank you, Mr. Aldo, and thank you, Mr. Melvin, saying distance learning. Oh, blended learning. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I would like to tell you what happened in Asia. Yeah, in Indonesia, we are divided into 4 levels. Each region are they have like start levels of COVID infection there. Yeah, level 1 is the lowest one. Level 4 is the highest one. I don't know what happened in the Philippines. Do you guys have leveling like that? So in Indonesia, if you have a level 1 condition of COVID infection, which means it's very low. Yeah. And level 1 and level 2 with a quite vaccination rate, high vaccination rate. As you may see here, if the teacher have been vaccinated for 2 doses, above 80% of the teacher have been vaccinated, and the district also have been vaccinated above 50%. Well, our government actually endorsed us to go back full day schools, which has maximum 6 hours. Yeah. Well, but it depends. Well, some region um doesn't have to do that, because some of the region has lower vaccination rate, and that happened in Indonesia. I don't know if in the Philippines, but well, clearly in Indonesia, we don't have equal access of vaccinations. Some city, some village has like low level of vaccination rate. Still, it still happen. Yeah, but some district have highest level. So it depends of the vaccination rate, and of the schools and the teachers, and also the district. If you have higher level of vaccination rate and your infectious level is low, then government basically asks you to go full day school. Yeah. But as you may see here, the capacity is, if you have like low vaccination rate, it goes down to 50%. So not all students will come back to school. It's a bit complicated, right? Yeah, so it depends on the vaccination rate and the level of the COVID infection. Yeah. Unfortunately, for now, what happened in our country is we have a quite infectious case currently. I skipped. I mean, like it's increasing now. I don't know what happened in the Philippines. Can you probably share? Is it like increasing or decreasing now in the Philippines? Can you write on the chat? Because now Indonesia, well, we are. I mean, the number is like around 10,000 and 2,000, 20,000. Yeah, it's quite still high. Yeah, so even though our vaccination rate is high, but well, again, the infection rate is quite high. Uh, Most of our region, not most, especially in the capital city, we are in level 3. So some school are going back to online right now because of due to the the Omicron situation. Yeah. So if you ask me now, there are some school are doing most of the school in capital city. I live in Jakarta. In capital city right now are going back to online, but some school in the area still doing a full day. Some school are doing online. Well, it happens very different. Same teacher Angie. We have search also in January, but currently is decreasing. But still, I can say the case is still high in Indonesia right now. So some schools are going back to online, but some schools are still doing on site. Well, it depends. Yeah. So this is what happened in Indonesia. It's quite complicated, but as you might see, our government push for the face-to-face online on-site learning as well. But the situation is keep changing. And if you want to see like, sir, how what happened in Indonesia here? This is what happened in blended learning in Indonesia. As you guys might see the pictures, the school now is a bit different in Indonesia. We have a lot of healthy protocol to be followed. Of course, washing hand, temperature check. I really hope it's the same in your country also. And you might see the mask is still compulsory for for all schools to be used. Yeah. Yeah, this is what happened when Indonesia going back to school in January 2020. Yeah, and I can say that like some people, some teacher and student here are implementing the same. Yeah. And I would like to say with you what happened in Indonesia. There's one thing that I don't know if you know this, but that I would like to share with you one fact. Our Minister of Education are the one who arranging this together with district level. And but one thing that I would like to share with you, there's something that you need to know. I don't know if you know this before, but our Ministry of Education um, is I think they are pointed out in 2019, right after 2019, before the pandemic. And we are quite lucky, very lucky actually. This is our Ministry of Education who are Gojek. I don't know if you know about Gojek. Can any that Is there any Gojek in the Philippines, or have you ever heard about Gojek? Yes, he is our Minister of Education. He used to be a CEO of Gojek, but now he's our Ministry of Education. And I don't know. Can you please write on the chat if you know this before about Gojek? So yeah, and he's the one who actually are our ministry, and I'm really want to really appreciate him because he's been doing a lot of amazing stuff during the pandemic. I know it's not an easy thing to do for the ministry to arrange all this policy, but he's really doing the best thing that he can. And yeah, I'm very proud of him. And yeah, this he's our Minister of Education. And what I learned the most about him, I don't know if you have heard this before. Um, always remember what actually our ministry actually always posting here, and not only our ministry, and actually the mindset that we are having right now is really about we fall in love with the problem, not the solution. How many of you would agree that right now, come on teachers, we cannot avoid this problem? The problem is there, but now I think right now we have to fall in love with the problem, not the solution again. Yeah, the problem is always there, but the questions is how we can actually um, really conquer that problem together. Yeah. And what I would like to share with you today is how our Ministry of Education and how I actually work together with the Ministry of Education to approach this to help teachers in Indonesia adapting with these situations. It starts with three words. It starts with literally with three words, I can say. Number one is empathy. Number two is about expansive thinking. Number two, it's a lot of experimentation. Yeah, so if you probably forget what I'm saying just today for the 2 hours, just remember these three words: empathy, expansive thinking, and experimentation. Yeah. So it start with the empathy. Yeah. I don't know if you know about empathy. Actually, this is the mindset that we always have. Number one is really about how we can focus on the user, how we can focus on the students and the teachers' growth, how we can actually recognize the problems. And that's actually what happened in, I can say right now, the philosophy that we are embracing together, working together with the ministry. It's about listening to the people. It's about being, very, very empathetic with other people. Yeah. And I remember Larry Page. I don't know how many of you have heard about Larry Page here. He mentioned about there is no substitute for personally watching and listening to real people. So teachers in the Philippines, if you would like to ask me one thing, what happened in Indonesia right now, in Indonesia education, how the ministry are um, dealing with the teachers, and how I myself helping the teachers, I can say it's all about empathy. It's about listening and watching real people. Yeah. Focus on the user and all else will follow. And that brings us to learn about these three challenges. Please write on the chat if you teachers in the Philippines experiencing the same problem and choose which one. Can you try to write on the chat, teachers? Because I myself will share this is what we observing that our teachers are facing right now in these situations. Yeah. Number one, access to learning tools and resources. Actually, that is one of the biggest issue in Indonesia right now. That's based on our observations. Is there any one of you experiencing the same thing, teachers? Can you please write on the chat, teachers, if you're experiencing, oh my God, sir, I have no idea how to do this because I have no learning tools and resources. Can anybody write on the chat if you experience the same thing? Because this is what happened in Indonesia, teachers. I can say that. And the second one is about there's a lack of teachers, trainers, and coaches. Yes, access of teachers, trainer, and coaches. I mean, like the talent there. I mean, like there's not many people understand about hybrid learning. There's not enough teachers or even lecturers who have enough um, knowledge and skills to do this. And it's the reality. I can say that. How many of you can find Mr. Franco here in the Philippines? I don't know if it happened, but Indonesia is very rare to find someone like Mr. Franco and just like you teachers. Yeah. And the last one, I can see some of you mentioning already. Same teachers, access to internet and infrastructure. Yeah, same. It's totally the same. It's totally the same, teachers. I might say that. Yeah. So I would like to say that this access of internet is the huge problem. Just like you, I think Indonesia and Philippines have the same. Yeah, and how many of you would agree this is our all challenges in our in developing country like this? Yeah, thank you for responding that, teachers. And can you imagine, in Indonesia we have 3 million of teachers. Yeah, we have 27 million of students. We have 500 districts plus, of course, and 34 provinces having to deal with this issue. Yeah. I'm going to say with you, this is not easy. Yeah. I don't know how many the total teachers in the Philippines. Can you probably write on the chat, Mr. Franco, or teachers? How many total number of teachers in and students in the Philippines? Because us, we have around, this is like 3 millions and 27 millions, I think more probably. So can you imagine the number of people here and the number of, wow, uh, districts that we are handling also. So I can say this is the same. I mean, like the situation is pretty similar. Yeah. But teachers, I think the most important thing, yeah, everyone has their own challenge. Yeah. Same. What are your biggest challenge? You can probably write on the chat, because probably teachers, you have other challenge here. Can you please write on the chat? What are your biggest challenge dealing with this hybrid learning and back to school? Can you please write on the chat? Because this is the situation in Indonesia, and I do believe that your country and even you teachers have your own. Can you please write on the chat, teachers? What is your biggest challenge, especially when you're going back to school? Yeah, because I think number one thing right now, if you ask me, sir, what Philippine education should learn from Indonesia, it's really about listening to the teachers. It's about building the empathy. That's what our Ministry of Education are doing. Oh, thank you. Some of you mentioned about poor internet connection, financial support for internet connections. Can you please write other more? Yeah, gadget for learners. Yes, thank you. Difficulty with internet. Yes, yes, same. Okay, teachers, thank you so much for sharing that. Please, communication with the access of resources. Thank you, Miss Roxanne. Miss Jolly, thank you. You can probably keep writing on the chat. What is your biggest challenge? Because I think that's one thing that we should do together. And this is how actually our government actually approach. Try to listen to the teachers. Try to listen to the students. What are the challenges? It's not easy. The engagement, yeah. And I believe, like Mr. Franco, you can try to write on the right and keep this problem because this is a good problem. As I mentioned before, fall in love with problem. Yeah, fall in love with your problems, because I think after this, Mr. Franco and the teacher in the Philippines, I think this is exactly what we want to know, and this is what we want everyone to work together. Yeah, to achieve and to try to find a solution of it. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. Actually, same thing. And this is what happened in Indonesia since 2020. After we are listening what happened, it's not easy. We have different challenges every different district. What we do, we have expansive thinking. So after we listen to the teachers, the second thing that we do is really to, okay, what we can do with to solve this problem, how we can solve this problem. Think 10 times. Yeah. And of course, there's no option, teachers. We have to stretch ourselves beyond our comfort zone. We have to, there's no magic, there's nothing happen if we do not move from our current situation, right? There's nothing changing. It's same in Indonesia. Yeah, if we are not doing anything different. So teachers, I can see a lot of you need a lot of support. Yeah, a lot of internet support, a lot of interactions. But now, teachers, just like what I taught to Indonesia teachers, we have to move from our comfort zone. If not, the situation doesn't change. Yeah. And I would like to say, don't wait for the government as well, because we have to really start with ourselves. And I'm very happy, like right now, Mr. Franco, um, doing a lot of amazing stuff here beyond his comfort zone, I believe. And you teachers are joining today workshop, are going beyond your comfort zone. Thank you so much for sharing that. Like your biggest challenge as a lower school, we have hard time following as students who are working parents. Same, Miss Mary Ann. Thank you so much for sharing that. Please keep right on the chat. Parents would be another challenge. It's the same here in Indonesia. Parent is a huge challenge, and teachers also adapting this. Even students, they are become stressed. They are become, I don't know, it happened in the Philippines. Stress, boring. It happened also. So we should move together. Yeah, we should do something together. Yeah, and we should aim something. Now, I'd like to ask, what is your biggest dream then? What is your biggest aim, teachers? And that's actually where I start with Indonesian teacher as well. I challenge them. We should do something. We should move. We should do something with it. We cannot just stay by quiet and it won't change anything. Yeah. And I know some teachers, Mr. Lauren mentioned, um, you are already in comfort out of comfort zone, and I surprisingly initiate message. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know a lot of you are doing that. I believe a lot of you are moving out of the comfort zone, and I can say like it's the same teachers. I don't think I'm ready for doing this online. When I first know that, oh my god, I cannot do on-site training, and I have to move. I can just do this. It's not easy. I can say that. I can say that. I feel you. So, teachers, what I would like to share, this is what happened in Indonesia, and I really hope that we can learn together what we can bring the best practice. Yeah. So I would like to share with you three things that what currently our MOEC, our Ministry of Education, doing to overcome this challenge starting in 2020 until now. Yeah. And I would like to share with you focusedly on how they empower teachers, how they do the teachers. And I really hopefully after this you can actually learn something from it. And I know you can probably implement this. Yeah. Because I believe how many of you would agree that we cannot do this alone? Yeah. Alone we can do so little, and together we can do so much. And I'm so excited. I'm very happy right now. I can hear a lot of teachers are sharing. It feels me like I'm not alone in this world. How many of you feel that? You can write on the chat. I feel that because together, teachers in the Philippines, we can do so much. And I do hope after this session, teachers from Kagapay, teacher supports, and the Philippines, how many of you would agree that together we can do a lot of things? You can write on the chat because let's do it together. I know Indonesia still are also struggling, but you're not alone. We are doing this together. Yeah. I would like to say the first thing is of what we are doing is this is one of the most amazing thing what our teachers and Ministry of Education collaborate. We have a sharing platform called a Guru Belajar and Berbagi, and I would like to simply say this is a platform for teachers to learn and share. So in back in 2020, what happened is our Ministry of Education built this platform for all teachers in Indonesia. So teachers can learn and share. Quite surprising, yeah? I mean, like, this is something that they're doing, I know. And I believe, like, your Ministry of Education are doing the same. But again, this is not just from the ministry. But what I would like to say, this is a platform that ministries share. But what I love the most with this platform, we actually built a platform where teachers can share their lesson plans during this hybrid learning. And I think this is something that I mean, like, very brilliant. I don't know how many of you have, I don't know, teachers in the Philippines. Do you have anything similar like this in Kagapay Teacher Support or your Ministry of Education? If you have, you can try to write on the chat as well so we can exchange idea. But this is Mr. Franco. You can actually try to replicate this because, of course, this is well, this is not only by the ministry, but anyone in the world can share this. They actually work together, as you might see here. A lot of teachers sharing the resources. Yeah, sharing resources, how we can support slow learners, how we can support blended learning, and I think this is something that you can do it together. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like, share, build a sharing platform. I think that's something that you could do together, teachers. Don't isolate yourself. Come on, you have Kagapay teacher supports, and just like what happened in Kagapay Teacher Supports, we have series of webinars, which I do believe this is amazing because in our country we run a series of webinar also same, yeah, free webinars and training, and teachers feel free to join, yeah, feel free to share free articles and story. Come on, teachers. And I think this is something that we actually do to support the teachers. Revo, me, myself, actually contributing with the webinars, and some teacher also contributing with articles, sharing stories. And I think, well, just I mentioned before, alone we can do so little, but if you can go together, we can do so much. So, video sharing, and I think Mr. Franco, I do believe that your teachers here have their own story. You have your own video. You have your own best practice. And I'd like to challenge you, teachers. How many of you could probably share this together in the community? Yeah. And I don't know if I can. Well, Mr. Franco mentioned that you have invested the best. And Mr. Franco, I think it will be great if you can have like the platform like this for Kagapay Teacher Support. Or if you do, you can probably just share it also. Because at Revo also we built actually the same platform for teacher and everyone to share and learn. And this is something that you don't have to wait to be qualified. You don't have to be quiet and say, hey, I'm not that, I don't have that story, I don't have that resources. Come on, teachers. What might be a small for you would be a great and powerful and inspiration for others. We never know. So I'm going to share a challenge you teachers. Come on. Just like what happened in Nisha, learn and share is something that we would like to challenge you to explore. And if you need to learn how they are doing this, Mr. Franco, I'm going to share with you with the link here on the chat. I'll be just putting on the chat here. This is what happened. Um, I'm sharing you the link there. If you'd like to say, I'm sorry, this is still in Bahasa, but at least you can actually learn the structure. I know Kagapay Teacher Support in the future can build something like this. So belajar means learn. Berbagi means sharing. So you learn some Indonesia now. As you see, ayo guru belajar, let's learn, teachers. And ayo guru berbagi means let's learn. Let's share, teachers. So learn and share. Okay, you learn some Indonesia now. Free lesson. Okay. For belajar, you'll find a lot of amazing webinar here. And as you might see, there's a lot of series of webinar you can probably learn. And also, I think one of I would like to show it to you the most is Ayo Guru Berbagi. This is one of I love the most about this because well I know it's still bahasa, but I would like to show you a clue here. If you can see RPP means lesson plans. If you click the RPP here, later on you will see a collection of amazing lesson plan from around the world, around Indonesia, articles or any resources. Yeah. So teachers, I think this is something that you can learn together. We are not alone. Collaboration is the power. Yeah. And thank you, Mr. Franco. We will definitely please explore this. Yeah. And what we do at Revo, supporting ministry, actually, what we do here is we are also building a YouTube channel, just like Agapai Teacher Support. But what we do is even a bit crazy. We are involving a lot of teachers. This is our YouTube channel, teachers. I'm going to share with you. I know this is in Bahasa, but yeah, I think this is something that I would like to learn. I would like to share. We literally do share a lot of amazing things here. We actually collaborate, Mr. Franco, from teachers from Indonesia, all over Indonesia to share a lot about 21st century skills, a lot about how to design lesson plans. As you might see here, we're a bit crazy. We run like webinars every weekday, twice a day, and yeah, we're working together with a large number of teachers to really empowering them to share their best practice on how we can actually conduct online learning, how to address issues on behavior and all those stuff. You can probably observe later. Sorry, this is in Bahasa, but please use the translate feature if you want to learn. But as you might see, this is the power of learning and sharing, teachers. So if you ask me, before we built a platform called Indonesia Edu Webinars, you could probably see it later on. We run such webinars in 2020, helping teachers to conduct distance learning and sharing the resources. Yeah, so that's the first thing that, um, if you ask me, what and the cool thing about this, it's officially also supported by MOEC, our Ministry of Education. So, Mr. Franco, I do believe we have always a dream. I think, we always aim that we want to scale more. And I would like you to challenge each teacher who joining this, try to bring this Kagapay teachers to even reach more teachers, because I believe there's still more teachers to reach, and we still need to work together to reach more teachers so they are not feeling alone. Yeah. So this is the first thing that we are doing in Indonesia. We build a platform of learning and sharing, and I hope after these teachers, come on, Kagapay teacher supports, you can do something to do this. And the second thing, what we are a bit, quite amazing thing, but I know Philippines teachers, this, I don't know if you have heard, but our country just launched, in 2022, called, Belajar ID. Is a national Google Workspace account. I don't know, Mr. Franco, do you have that one here in the Philippines? But the real case about this, because, our ministry realized our teacher have these three problems. And how many of you teachers experiencing these problems? You can write on the chat. First, your laptop becomes slower now. I saw some of you um experiencing infrastructure and device problem. Well, if you do, teachers, the storage problems, you should really join Mr. Franco session about Google Drive. Yeah. Number one is about storage. Number two, I can see communications. Yeah, there are some teachers have no idea right now how to communicate in these distance learning situations, even hybrid learning situations. Yeah, and third one, about virus and scattered data. How many of you experiencing these, teachers? You can please write on the chat. I know there's no raise hand, but I really hope there is a raise hand features. But if you experiencing this problem, if you know some teacher experiencing this problem, I think this is time for us to really bring and amplify, Kagapay teacher support. Why? Because I do believe, Kagapay teacher support actually has done a lot of amazing stuff here. And our ministry actually, working together with, Google for Educations to launch, Google Workspace for Educations at Belajar ID. So you could probably visit our website later on, and this is probably quite amazing because all teachers and students, I can say that again, all teachers and students, yeah, have access to, it's called learning account. I'll show you here, access for Google Workspace for Educations. So this is what we are creating now, a website, learning accounts, where teachers are prepared, are get the access, of a free and, larger storage of a national teachers account here. So MOEC actually working together with Google for Educations to provide this, which is pretty awesome. I can say that. Yeah, and I know, Philippines teacher. I think some of you actually are doing that also. Some of teachers actually doing that. And I would like to say that the problem is pretty straightforward, has been addressed with together with Kagapay teacher supports, because you will learn about how to conduct online learning, online classroom, online presentation. So this is the MOEC, platform, as you might see here. Ministry of Education providing this to all teachers. Yeah. And as you might see, I believe this is a time. Yeah, I can see, Miss Mary, and storage is not a problem. Even storage of Google Workspace is not enough now. Oh my gosh. Okay, Mr. Franco, probably you could probably, have run a session about how to manage effectively storage. I can see some problems here happening. Same Gmail about to full. Yeah, you could probably look around how actually, um, what makes Google Workspace for Education super special, and why a lot of teachers in Indonesia are, I mean, like using this, yeah, during this pandemic situation. Number one, teachers, you will have larger storage. Yeah, you can store your file securely without worrying about your Gmail. Yes. Oh, see, Mr. Franco mentioned you have drive and management, mail management session, teachers. Oh my gosh, Mr. Franco, if you to share the link, so your teacher will also know. So you will not have the same problem. The second thing is about, you have the free platform for you to do video call with Google Meet, and I know Mr. Franco did thing, amazing session on that. Of course, Classroom. Yeah. So if you ask me, right now Indonesian teacher are using this a lot because I mean, like, they're falling in love with the easy to use Classroom. And the last thing is about how they can actually create interactive session. And I think Mr. Franco now the same. Again, this is just a technology. Yeah, this is just a technology. The power behind this is teachers. The power of this is teacher. How many of you would agree? Can you say right on the chat if you agree with me? Technology will never ever replace great teachers. All Bledger ID, all Google Workspace will never replace you, teachers. How many of you would agree? Please write on the chat. I would like to see some people responding on the chat, because I do believe that it's not the technology. It's about how, in the hands of great teachers, it's transformational. That what happens. So I don't want to stop. I don't want to stop saying that. Hey, technology is not great. No, no. What I'm saying, without you teachers learning, without you teachers are using your expansive thinking, it won't happen. It won't change anything. So I would like to share the final part of the what our teachers are doing after they have expansive thinking. What they do is they have experimentation. They did a lot of experimentation. We did a lot of prototyping here. My question, what we can start now, really, is not about what do you have now, but what can you start now. Yeah, it's not really about what you have. Yeah. And I would like to say with you teachers, it's about finding a group of people just like what you are doing today, who challenge you, who inspire you, and spend a lot of time with you. Then it will change your life. Then it will help you. And that's what we are working together with the ministry. We are gathering group of people who challenge and inspire, and spend a lot of time with them. I mean, if you ask me, what is the secret recipe of Indonesian education dealing with this thing? How many of you would agree this? Yeah, find a group of people who challenge and inspire, just like in Kagapai Teacher Supports here. Yeah, spend a lot of time, join a lot of webinars, join a lot of sessions, because it will help you. It will help you. And go back again to Indonesia. This is probably surprising thing to her, but what we are doing, not only preparing the technology, I think what amazing about Indonesia Ministry of Education, they they launched a program called Champion Teachers, or in Indonesia called Guru Penggerak. Not only that, and also Champion School. It's formally an official program. And this is one of the thing that I believe, oh my gosh, this is one of the thing that, come on, I do believe that teachers, you can probably start. Yeah, what they do, they gather a lot of champion teachers, champion school, to impact more. Yeah, to learn at scale. Yeah, because at the end of the day, I would like you to check and see these pictures. Yeah. um Come on, teachers. Well, in our schools, yeah, we always meet with these three type of persons. Yeah. Number one, you probably with me, early adopters, someone who sit in the in the front chair, and they're very excited to jump. They're so excited. Come on, just like Mr. Franco, just like teachers here. Oh man. And but I know like not all teachers sit in the front smiling with this challenge. I know some teachers saying like some teachers need a role model. Yeah, probably some of you are early and late majority. I mean, like you are watching someone else first, saying, "Okay, can you do that? Can we do that?" Yeah, but they are actually in the middle, but they're not that excited, but they are still keep following. But there are some teachers I can say sit in the back, which called laggards, who probably have no idea what to do. We have, um, yeah, we have no idea, and we have they probably know. I don't know. I just don't know what to do, what to start. I don't know what to learn, right? And teachers in the Philippines, kagapay teachers, come on. There's so many teachers. I believe not only in my country but in your country. I have no idea, just like this. Yeah, I'm happy Mr. Jeffrey mentioned in the Philippines you have a lot of champion teachers and more programs like. And yes, and I think this is something that you teachers, kagapay teachers, come on, you have to really join the force, because we have a lot of teachers in this sit in the back, stressful, feeling alone, yeah, feeling saying, oh my god, I'm just giving up with this. Yeah. So if you ask me what we are doing in Indonesia, we are exactly gathering this. We want to reach these teachers. Yeah. I don't know how many of you heard about this pencil metaphor. How many of you heard about this? So if you ask me the one of the best practice what we are doing in Indonesia, just like a pencil, yeah, we are actually gathering people who actually on in the front. We call themselves as a leaders. So teachers, I would like to say with you, and I do believe Mr. Franco are the leaders, and also you are all leaders. You are the one who first adapt the technology. You want to document and share the practice. And so that's actually what you are now, who you are. And some of you probably the sharp ones. You can probably just want to watch. You're not you are probably not like Mr. Franco who are so passionate and leading, but it's okay, it's okay. You watch now, you grab the best bit, the best bites, and you learn from your mistake and do great stuff, which is fine, which is fine. But some of you are probably in the wood, yeah, in the red part. What is fruit? Probably you're in the middle, as you might see. You would use tech if someone else set it up, show them how to and keeps it running, and you probably would like to learn slowly. But come on, teachers, I do really hope maximum you are in the wood part, or the sharp ones, or the leaders. Can you press write on the chat, teachers? Where are you now? Are you the leaders? Are you the sharp ones? Are you the woods? Can you please write on the chat? Can you please write on the chat, teachers? Because I hope there is nobody here are the pharaohs, because they hold tightly onto what they know. Tech has no place in the classroom. It's quite scary, and I hope I do believe, Mr. Franco, there's no one are in the pharaohs. But believe me, I'm gonna ask you another questions. I'm gonna ask you another question, teachers. How many of you have met this type of teachers who hold tightly into what they know? Tech has no place. Yeah. Those kind of teachers that we need to reach more. And I do believe this is what we are doing in Indonesia. We're trying to break this fixed mindset. Yeah. Thank you so much, teachers. You are mentioning about you are the sharp ones. Thank you, thank you. Wow, Mr. Franco, you're so lucky to have a lot of sharp ones here. Oh, sweet. Thank you, thank you. Oh, Mr. Daryl mentioned about you're not only teaching from the mind, most of them your heart, and you're passionate enough in terms of teaching. Thank you, thank you. But I can say, like, in my country, there are these pharaohs, yeah, and I do believe teachers. Let's reach out these pharaohs. to be the sharp ones, to be the wood at least. And of course, I hope there's no one is in the erasers. Yeah. And yeah, thank you so much for mentioning that. And I do believe this kind of mindset, yeah, that we need to shape in teachers in the country, our countries. Yeah. Hopefully you are not in the hangers on who just know. And I do believe there's no one here in the Philippines. But if we meet them, let's try to reach out to them and try to soften them and try to really avoid yourself from negativity. And that's what we are always mentioning. So yeah, teachers, it's time to really sharpen your pencil, your sharp ones. And I do believe that if you ask me what is the best practice in Indonesia, this is what we are doing. We sharpen this always, always, always. And what we do is this is what we actually do. Probably, please raise your hand if you are have if you have try to sharp yourself with the certification program from Mr. Franco, because this is what we are actually doing. It's quite crazy in Indonesia. We are doing a lot of larger 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 scale of certification program, but we are currently having 6,000 3,000 GCL1 just like last year. This is what I'm doing actually together with the ministry. Not only that, we are actually helping teachers to get level 2 is around 1,000 teachers, and now we have around more than 300 Google certified trainers. Why we are doing this? This is the keywords. We want to make learning at scale. We don't want just make learning exclusive for some people. We want to make sure that everyone can learn together. Everyone can meet the sharp ones. Everyone are sharpened, sharpened, sharpened. Yeah, and I think that's something that we want to do. And you know what? What the cool thing about Indonesia teachers? Just I know I do believe the Filipino teachers are doing the same, which I believe you can immediately implement. Mr. Franco, not beyond the certification, what we are asking them after they get the certificate, we ask the teachers in the program to train other teachers. So no matter you are in the level 1, level 2, or GCT, every teachers are encouraged to share. And if you ask me now, there are around 100,000 teachers trained with Google Workspace for Educations. And this is actually what we have been doing. And I think teachers, come on. I know that Filipino teachers, you can do this. And if you might see, this is what happened with Indonesia teachers. We train, we empower, and don't stop until training and empowering teachers. At the point that you have to measure yourself with the certification. I know Mr. Franco are doing a lot of certification program. Can you please write on the chat, teachers? Is there are there any one of you here are probably get certification program, teachers? Any certification doesn't have to be Google. It could be, I don't know, Mr. Franco. Are they are doing any certification program as well with you? Can write on the chat? Try to challenge yourself. Why? And because we believe that that's something that you could probably use to really transform your teaching and learning. Yeah. And as you might see, this is what happened in Asia. Oh, mostly Google. So thank you, Mr. Franco. Thank you, thank you. Oh my gosh, I can see some of you are doing same. And and this is what happened. Actually, I'm showing you the pictures of the teachers in Indonesia are after they completed series of training. I probably will challenge you, teachers. Don't don't hold your knowledge, because what we are doing in Indonesia, after you get certified, what you do, you need to do a lot of trainings. So we literally asking them to share, like it's a must. Because if you just got the certificate and that's it, come on, it's just piece of paper. What we do, we want you to impact more people. So I see some of you are preparing Google certified trainers, And level one, thank you, Mr. Jesus and Mr. Jeffrey. You could probably write on the chat. But I would like to challenge it even further. What happened in Indonesia? They don't stop until the certifications. After the certification program done, they are sharing with a lot. They are collaborating, working together, running sessions, running training sessions. And I would like to challenge teachers. Come on, you Kagapai teacher supports. You have been learned a lot, yeah. And I think it's time for you to share a lot, yeah. And I would like to challenge you that, yeah. And look, I'm going to share you some of the success story of what happened with the impact. You will never know. Like a small thing like Google Drive could really impact people. Yeah. And you will never know that there's a lot of best practice that the teachers will share. And I think, Mr. Franco, if you ask me the best practice of Indonesia, we work together with these teachers to really bring out the ideas because they are brilliant. They're sharing interactive works. They are sharing how they connect with the parents and teachers using data on Google Sites, which is pretty awesome for me. I've never thought that we can actually display data. And believe me, these teachers, even though they just passed, I mean, recently passed the level one. Oh my God, the ideas are insane. And I can share that you can learn from anywhere, anyone. Believe me, in Indonesia, they do automation with Google Sheets, and a simple thing like this, a Google chat, is really awesome. I still remember these teachers from the remote village in Indonesia. His student doesn't have phone numbers, and what they do, they think creatively using a Google chat, and they enable this. The teachers enable the student using Google chat to communicate, even without the cell phone number. And I would like to meet with the teachers now. I'm just stop sharing again, and I'll be repeat sharing again. I have a video here to share with you of the teachers are doing this in remote area in Indonesia. Okay, okay. I'm going to share it. Let me know, Mr. Franco, if the voice can be heard. Yeah.
SMP Negeri 12 Termise terletak di Desa Paka. Ada siswa yang tinggal jauh dari sekolah. Ini menjadi salah satu penghalang bagi siswa untuk datang ke sekolah. Apalagi di saat pandemi seperti ini, siswa datang seminggu sekali hanya untuk mengambil tugas dan mengumpulkan tugas yang diberikan oleh guru. Nah, tentunya ini tidak efektif karena tidak ada komunikasi yang intens. Karena kita di kampung, guru-guru masih awam dengan teknologi. Tetapi untungnya, kita mendapatkan bantuan Chromebook. Pada akhir tahun 2020, saya mengikuti pelatihan menggunakan Chromebook dan Google Workspace. Sehingga sekarang kami sudah dapat menggunakan Google Workspace. Tantangan utama jaringan dan data internet sangat sulit di daerah kami ini. Tetapi untungnya Google Workspace hanya membutuhkan lebih sedikit data, seperti Google Classroom dan Google Chat, sehingga siswa dan guru dapat berkomunikasi lebih baik.
Kami pakai Google Classroom yang membuat lebih mudah untuk mengikuti pelajarannya. Bisa bertanya dan berdiskusi lewat Google Chat yang membuat proses pembelajaran antara guru dan teman-teman lebih mudah.
Semenjak saya menggunakan Google Workspace di sekolah ini, para siswa semakin bersemangat mengajak teman-temannya untuk kembali ke sekolah. Sekarang mereka datang sekolah tidak hanya untuk mengejar ijazah, mereka sangat menikmati proses belajar yang baru ini. Kiranya pendidikan harus bisa memanfaatkan teknologi dengan lebih baik, agar pembelajaran di dalam kelas itu lebih efektif, efisien, dan menyenangkan.
Yes, that's the video. Oh my gosh, I think this is really amazing. To see some teachers are working together, and yeah, I would like to probably close this session, teachers. Um, Also with this, if you ask me again, what are the best practice in Indonesia? Again, I can say that three things. What our government do, it's really heavily and put heavily done with together with the teachers. It's not, we cannot do it alone. We support each other, and I always believe this one thing, teachers. And I know you guys, Kagapai teachers, are leaders. I would like to share with you one book that I'm reading right now. It's called Multipliers. Um, I think at this time, I think this is so important for us to be a leaders. Yeah, and the best leaders are the one who make everyone smarter. As you might see in the video, I'm very proud, Mr. Farron in the video before. He's the leader, and he replicate what he has done with his students, with his teachers, and yeah, I think that's something that I would like to extend. And I'm going to close this with the quote saying that I alone cannot change the world, but we can stand and we can cast a stone across the water to create many ripples. And I'm going to challenge teachers, Mr. Franco, and everyone here. I know it's not easy, yeah, but if you might see in Indonesia, if you can see what happened in Indonesia, it's really about how you can cast a stone, how you can make an impact, create many ripples, yeah, and keep exploring. I would like to say, and don't stop here, teachers, and try to really share a lot of stuff here, yeah. And yes, I think that's all, Mr. Franco, about my sharing. I really hope that everyone is super inspired and feel energized after this, and to bring the spirit of learning and sharing from Indonesia to the Philippines.
Yes, thank you so much, Sir Steven, for that sharing. Definitely, our teachers was very much inspired, and of course, learned a lot from what Indonesia has been doing. Okay? And I think that the best thing about this, Sir Steven, is that the private, the public, and even the government are working together to actually provide the education, no, during the pandemic, no, and even after the pandemic. And I think Sir Steven's work, no, extends beyond the pandemic because he's been doing this for a long time already. Even before the pandemic has been has or happened. Okay? So had really a lot of experience. So Sir Steven, there's a lot of thank you already in the chat. No, according to teacher
Mhm.
Lord Lena, very captivating and insightful session. Okay, so,
Thank you,
but
thank you.
maybe my one of our questions while we're waiting, teachers, it's already no, our time for to ask questions to Sir Steven. So if you have questions, please put that in the chat, so that we can entertain them. Let's try to squeeze, as much as we can from the
Yeah.
time that Sir Steven have given us, okay, so that we can learn from him, because as you can see, there's a lot more to learn from Sir Steven. But Sir Steven, maybe one of the things that I'd like to ask would be, because we have the same almost based on the video, one of the biggest concerns, especially in an online setup, is the infrastructure, like internet connection, devices, etc. How were these things addressed? And I could see earlier from the video, I'm a little bit, I will not hide it, it's Sir Steven, I'm a little bit I envy in a way, because I can see all the students having Chromebooks. Here in the Philippines, we have a phrase that we say usually to connote that kind of feeling. The phrase is "sana all." But anyway, how did Indonesia, or how is Indonesia addressing problems with access to devices and connection?
Thank you, Mr. Franco, for sharing that. I would like to say that, as you might see the video, I can say that the Chromebook is only 15 Chromebooks in that school. Because I know I teach, I mentor the schools, and I can say that not many schools have the same situation. Okay, and I can say that, as you can see, the situation of the school is located in remote area, Mr. Franco. And I would like to say the internet is challenged when the Chromebook first arrived. It's always seem impossible to connect. Truly, I can say that. Even though the Chromebook is there, I mean, like, believe me or not, Indonesia, when the Chromebook is given, some school doesn't use it because the infrastructure. But the thing that I would like to say again, what we are doing, what we are focusing is, as you might see, for us, honestly, Mr. Franco, it's almost impossible, to be honest, in the first place, I can say, to really teach Google here in the beginning, because as you might see, the infrastructure, and the internet is not there yet, right? How could we really teach that? But again, I think what we are focusing instead of just infrastructure, then before we know the infrastructure is never fully ready, Mr. Franco. In Indonesia, that happened. Yeah. What we are doing, we start with something simple. We started we start with equipping the mindset first. I think that's the key thing. Yeah, it's not really about having all internet ready, infrastructure ready, but we are starting with the teacher. As you might see here, we gathering champion teachers, we gathering the champion schools. Then their mindset, they know the problem is there. We are solving that together. Again, until now, as you if you look at the picture, honestly, Mr. Franco, there's still some teachers are struggling getting the internet access. But but they have the mindset already. Oh, this Google Classroom helped me to really teach distance learning. This Google Meet is all facilities given by the government. How we can really do this? Even though they're not all, I have to be honest, teachers, not all schools have received Chromebook. It's only a few of schools get the Chromebooks. Yeah, so I would like to say that even though the Chromebook arrive, whether or not you're having the Chromebook is not necessarily the issue, but it's about this is about go back to yourself, how you can actually try to learn together with the spirit, and when you have the community. And I think one of the biggest thing, Mr. Franco, I think teachers are not born alone. I always believe, because come on, when the teachers see someone else can do well, they want to replicate, they want to learn, even though it's not there yet. I mean, like the facility is not there yet, the internet connection is not ready yet. But how many of you would agree, if you wait until you are fully ready, fully equipped, fully qualified, you will not do anything? So my message, Mr. Franco, to all teachers: don't wait until you're ready. Start even when you're not ready. And that's what happened in Nisha. Actually, that's how it happened.
Thank you, Sir Steven. I think very clear points from Sir Steven is that
Mhm.
we invest on our teachers. Okay, first and foremost, it's the teachers who's going to be on the frontliners of education. Plus, okay, changing the mindset. I really love that, no, Sir Steven, no? Because regardless of what technology you're using, or what
Mhm.
access you have to internet connection, if you don't have the proper mindset, okay, it won't actually impact education. So it's the mindset
Mhm.
first. Okay. Anyway, you already have a lot of questions in the chat, Sir Steven. They're coming in. And the first question is from teacher Porzuelo Mary Ann. Okay, when the pandemic is over or very manageable, okay, what is Indonesia's stance with online distance learning? Will schools still apply hybrid or blended learning when the face-to-face becomes mainstream again? Okay, so basically, we would like to know what what education in Indonesia will be in the next few years after the pandemic.
Thank you, Mr. Franco. Um, I think pandemic is really a golden opportunity for everyone to learn. Yeah, and Indonesia is the same. But what we are facing right now after the pandemic, everyone going back face to face. I would like to say everything will not be the same. Cannot be the same again, because what we are adapting. I know Indonesia government endorsed the full online, full on-site, face-to-face learning. But again, if the case happen, we never know. Teachers should be ready. Teachers should be adaptable, flexible to switch their hybrid learning. If you mention what is the Indonesian stance with online distance learning, Indonesia is currently pushing on the face to face, honestly, to avoid learning loss, actually. Yeah, to avoid that thing. But again, in reality, the schools still apply hybrid learning. I mean, like, it's impossible to go back 100% face to face learning, and I believe until even like next year, because come on, things will happen.
Yes.
So I think the mindset of the teacher, that's the key, I think. Yeah.
I think, no,
Okay.
sir, I agree with that. No, I think we're not going back 100%
Yeah.
pre-pandemic education. Right? We're going to
Yeah.
have like a combination of um, here in the Philippines. Just to share, Sir Steven, we're pushing for
Mhm.
as well a face-to-face,
Same.
but with accommodations on certain students who would want to pursue online distance learning. So there's a combination. So we actually have a couple of terms being used right now, especially for example in our school, since we're simultaneously teaching online and on-site students. We have terms like roomies; those are on-site, and those who are
Uh-huh.
in the Zoom. We call them Zoomies, or in Google Meet. I don't know if
I
what you will call if you are using Google Meet.
I
Anyway,
see.
Sir Steven, this one is in Indonesian language. So you might want to just read this, Sir Steven. I
Ah,
can't really.
Miss.
This is, by the way, a Filipino teacher. Okay.
Oh, Filipino teachers.
Yes.
You're using Google Translate, or he is an Indonesian teacher? I don't know.
I think she's using I think she taught in an Indonesian school before.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I met a lot of Filipino in Jakarta, Indonesia. So, how many of you been in Jakarta, Indonesia? Please write on the chat. Okay, I know. Seberapa kompetitif mahasiswa Indonesia sekarang dibandingkan sebelumnya? Maksudnya di masa pandemi. He asked question about how competitive Indonesian students, Indonesian university students before. I would like to say, if you ask me that questions currently, what we are doing with our new Ministry of Education, honestly, Mr. Franco, we are doing a major changes in university educations. We call it freedom to learn curriculum, believe it or not. Right now, what we are doing, if you ask me right now, Mr. Lord, how competitive right now, I can say Indonesian students currently are, well, we have the biggest problem in literacy and numeracy. I don't know if you have ever mentioned or learned about PISA test score, Mr. Franco.
We also
PISA,
that we also have that, Sir Steven, and
right?
we have a very low score in that PISA.
Oh, same with Indonesia. I can say it's very low. One of the biggest challenge that our government are focusing right now, how to improve the students' literacy and numeracy skills. And that is actually the biggest homework that they are focusing right now. And if you would like to ask me, how do you do that? They scrap the national exam. So before we have standardized exam, we don't have any standardized exam. So we starting since 2020. Oh my God, Mr. Franco, you're a bit jealous on that. Yeah. We scrapped that on primary, secondary. Yeah, because our new ministry is saying that, well, that won't solve any problems because that doesn't change the PISA score, right? I mean, like, it doesn't change anything. The PISA score is still there low with that national standard. Why we keep the same doing the same thing? Yeah, and
Like
what? Yeah,
100% yes. I just want to say 100% yes. Go ahead, Sir Steven.
yeah. And what happened? He replaced the national exam with, we call it like assessment, as a national assessment. It's like a PISA score, a PISA exam, Mr. Franco. So he replaced that, but not all students took that. It's just like for the ministry to assess whether the student are ready to take the PISA test, score test. Can you imagine how serious our ministry to improve the student literacy? And no, there is no standardized test anymore. And the surprising thing, Mr. Lord, I would like to spill you another changes happening in 2021. Our Ministry of Education just launched what we call it as internship for students, the internship program. But it's really part of the program. Before, well, our university students just learn in university, but now he allow our university student take 3 semesters. Can you believe, take 3 semester, not in university, where they can take it from the industry. So if you go internship on any startup company, that can be counted. You are taking 3 semesters in university. Can you imagine that? So they want to make sure that the curriculum now is being very relevant and contextual. And I mean, like, they also want to match the job between, I mean, the skills between, because many of our students, after they graduate, get the degree, they don't get instantly the job. I can say that. But now our ministry are pushing to the skills, scrap the national standardized exam, try to make, oh yeah, by the way, I have not mentioned, our curriculum is actually being changed also, totally changed. Like, they will launch it in 2024, but now they're releasing prototype curriculum, Mr. Franco. So back to the questions, if you ask me, probably you will not see it now, but let's see until 2024. You'll see what happened in Indonesia. I really hope the PISA test score will improve. Yes. Are you still muted, Mr. Franco? Sorry.
That's
I can
very,
agree.
very radical, Sir Steven. And I think our teachers now in the chat are again are saying our usual phrase when we are envy in a way. We say sana all. You can see it from the chat right now. Okay, because again, well, personally, Sir Steven, no, I still think there are like values for standardized tests. Okay, but
Mhm.
I think it would depend on how you use it, and the way we're using it right now maybe is in a wrong way. So it's not actually helping our education or the improvement of education, and actually to some extent it might be hampering the growth of our students. And so that's why I really love what you're doing right now in Indonesia. And that's
Yeah.
a key step, by the way. That's a key step, because when you remove the standardized test, in a way you get to prioritize the more 21st century learning skills, because we can see that standardized tests are more like in the 20th century, but not so much on the 21st century learning. So thank you so much, Sir Steven. Okay, we'll continue to work to get where you are, where you're heading right now, and we're excited for you, Sir Steven. Maybe we can entertain two last questions, okay, from our audience. So we have this is from teacher for a while. There's so many questions already, so many messages. It went down for a while. This is from teacher Darrell V. Cortez. My question is, what if you really want to innovate something in terms of teaching, but mechanically speaking, you lack of maybe resources? Okay? What should be done to still exercise that? So I think in in context to Sir Steven, is that what if you have an innovation project, but you don't have the resources to actually pursue or implement this? What should be or could be done?
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Daryl. Um, I can say that this is also same thing in Indonesia. When you want to start something, your environment is not supporting you. How many of you have felt that? And I can relate with that because I've been there. And you don't have any idea. You have no people to support, and that's where actually where the community are here, Mr. Daryl. I can say it's the same thing in Indonesia situation. We are opening a lot of access for teachers to learn and share. Why? Because come on, sir, you cannot innovate alone. Believe me. Yeah, you cannot innovate yourself. You need someone. Yeah. I would like to say that if you lack of resources, if you are a lack of ideas and inspirations, go find people. Go find people, just like Mr. Franco. I know you are opening a coaching session, right? And some of teacher here also amazing. I can see from the chat. um I think number one, just find someone to talk. Try to reach out someone. Try to reach out people. Yeah, don't start yourself. Find mentor, find coach. Yeah, I think I think that's one of the most important thing as a teacher. You deserve a coach. You deserve a you deserve someone who work together with you, because alone you can do so little, but together you can do a lot of stuff. So try to really expand your perspective, and that's what I'm actually um encouraging and inspiring for Indonesian teacher as well. Thank you. That's Mr. Franco.
Thank you so much, Sir Steven. I really agree with that because again, working with others would increase the success, and the possibilities. This one is the last question, maybe, Sir Steven. Okay, this is from teacher Jomar Carpena. What do you think is the best way to train teachers who are particularly resistant to new technologies? As a trainer, we would like to hear your opinion about this. What do you do with the laggards or with the resistant teachers?
With the eraser teachers, yes, which were well, well, I think that happens a lot of times when I'm become a trainers, and that's so relevant. That's very contextual. What I would like to say, the best way to train them resistant teachers, um, I think number one thing that you need to do is just stay consistent on what you are doing. Yeah. If you met that kind of teachers, try to set yourself as a role model, consistent role model. Sometimes I always believe action speaks louder than words. Yeah. So instead of you teaching them or lecturing them what to do, you know what I'm doing? What I do actually, like, I keep posting a lot about teachers training as resources, sharing things, no matter how many times they rejected it, and no matter how many times they ignore me, no matter how many people I mean like how many harsh words and they're expressing. I don't care. I'm just sharing my things. And the second thing, try to bring them to the supportive community. Yeah. I mean, like don't let them just, well, they keep being resistant teacher forever. If you just left them alone, then come on. I mean, like, it will be horrible at the end. So try to bring them to the community and try to, I mean, like, spread the positivity, attending this session just like this. And because I believe everyone need to be the pencil, right? I think it's just like some people still in the wood or in the, well, eraser phase, so they'll be rejecting all of your things. So I think try to gather them in around the pencil people, try in the early adopters. I know for them it will be uncomfortable. I can say that it will be so uncomfortable, even like to talk to him to them, but try to bring them. And probably the reason is just like they haven't seen, they have been exposed that environment, and once they get the click, wow, I mean, like, it just matter of time. It just matter of time, believe me.
Yes, agree with that, na Sir Steven. Don't give up on them, teachers, na Teacher
Yeah,
Jomar. Okay, and
yeah.
continue to support them despite the rejections. Okay, you will see a lot of rejections. No, Sir Steven already know that. We've experienced as trainers, we've experienced a lot of rejections along the way, but we don't give up, no, because we are the support for them. Okay, once they feel the sincerity of the support, they will definitely soon embrace the changes or the radical ideas you are presenting. Okay, so teachers, that would be it for our question and answer for this afternoon. Okay, and again, may I invite everyone to please send your thanks, no, and gratitude, okay, words of gratitude to Sir Steven in our chat, so that he would feel the warmth, the Filipino warmth, no, and the Filipino hospitability, or being hospitable persons. Okay, yan. Um, I, Sir Steven, can I just have one last question, because
Sure,
this
sure.
was a question from that was asked earlier. This is from teacher Joseph Odelon Hermitano. What are your opinions on the global side that is still adjusting and still standing in the education system, even COVID-19 still there to continue to teach them and to learn? Okay, so maybe like in a general sense, Sir Steven, what could be said to schools or to countries that are still in the midst of adjustment to a post-COVID scenario?
Okay, I know we are in the same situation together. We are all in this together, adjusting every day. But at the same time, we are still standing. I would like to say that to all teachers in the Philippines or in Indonesia who are joining this session, um, I think it's time for us. J- I mean, like, I know a lot of uncomfort things that happen already. We adjust a lot. We adjust a lot. And what I'm going to share with you all, teachers, um, the education's direction, the education's, it's really lies on the teachers. It's not in the technology. It's not in the infrastructures. It's not in the students, in the headmaster. Really, you are, um, you are one of the most, I think, the most important aspect. That's why if you see my presentation, Mr. Franco, our ministry right now in Indonesia are focusing the teachers a lot, because you are so important in determining where we should bring next. Yeah. So my message to you all teachers, after you realize that this is very important, number one, be proud of who you are right now. Be proud. I know a lot of uncomfortable moment, a lot of changing happening, but be proud of yourself. Number two, it's really about teachers. I think I will always believe, like, this is, I'm quoting from my Ministry of Education, mentioning that if you stop learning, then you stop teaching. That means, like, teachers, if you are, I know you're still adjusting. That means you should not never stop learning. Yeah, especially in this situation. My gosh, everyone uh still need to teach and learn. Yeah, if you stop teaching as you stop learning, well, you stop teaching. It's quite scary, right? So that means, come on, we should stop. We should keep learning, keep teaching. Yeah. The last one, please don't. I mean, like, don't let yourself being alone. I mean, like, I know many teachers are so alone. I mean, like, they are left behind. They are, and come on, teachers, you need a community. You need a place. You need someone who support you. So teachers, I know a lot of you are stressful. A lot of you are under pressure, just like a song, under pressure, and a lot of you, not really, student also become stressful. I think it's time for you to get someone, find someone who can inspire you and challenge you. Then your life will change. So I think that's summarize what I'm going to say to all global society, Mr. Franco, and I really hope that this will inspire a lot of teachers to raise up together.
Indeed, no, Sir Steven. Thank you so much for that. And I hope that you've seen the comment section. It's already like
Yeah,
flowing or flowing with thanks for
very
all things
strict.
shared today. And of course, no, as part of our way to also appreciate your presence and your time for today, Sir Steven, we'd like to present this certificate of appreciation, okay? Which is respectfully awarded to Steven Satantro for sharing his knowledge and expertise in the recently concluded webinar entitled Education in Indonesia, Trends, Best Practices, and Innovations, awarded on March 3, 2022, to be signed by the administrators of Kaagapay Teacher Support, Sir Angelo B. Malyari, Joseph Angelo B. M. Santos, Paula May J. Mendoza, and Franco Nicolo P. Adun. Thank you so much again, Sir Steven. I know that you have given already your last message, but would like you to say a couple of words, okay, for our teachers here in the Philippines and also teachers in Indonesia who are watching as well here at our stream, as we continue to move forward, and hopefully towards the end of the pandemic.
Okay, I'll probably will just share one memorable things. Mr. Franco, could you just show the slide? Okay, that's my final words for everyone. I don't know if how many of you are familiar with this button, explore button on the Google Docs and share button on Google Docs as well. Yeah, I think that button is not created just for the sake of technology. I think that button is created for every one of us here. So teachers, my last word for you, keep exploring and keep sharing, because I believe that that's where the power of I mean, like, that's where you can find the power and the meaning of life. And yeah, I think that's all, Mr. Franco. And I hope this button will be something that you always remember every time you open Google Docs.
Yes,
Okay, thank
we
you
will
so much.
do. We'll definitely do it. It now has more meaning, Sir Steven, because of what you've said. Thank you so much, Sir Steven. So, teachers, let's say our goodbyes to teacher Sir Steven Kim. And Sir Steven, we wish you all the luck as you train more teachers in Indonesia, and of course the entire Indonesian community, all the teachers in Indonesia to us. We also wish you luck as you have your own new curriculum and as we progress towards the end of the pandemic. Okay, thank you so much, Sir Steven.
Thank you, Mr. Franco. See you again in the Philippines. I really hope that we can
Yes,
meet
I hope that we get to see each other, or I get to see you in Indonesia.
in
So
Indonesia.
either way.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Sir Steven.
Bye.
Okay, so teachers, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. Okay, and before we have our evaluation for our session for today, we'd like to first invite everyone for our next session. Okay, this Saturday. Okay, so we will have our session on contextualizing global trends and innovation um, um, in education. Okay, so we will have once again our former speaker from our last series, okay, Sir Jake Aragon. So what we're going to do now is that before we even talk more trends and best practices and innovations from outside of the country, we have invited an expert from our country to sort of like contextualize these global trends and understand how it can be used in the Philippines and as well as how it will impact the Philippine education. So please don't miss our session on Saturday. That's going to be from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Okay? And of course, so here's your evaluation link now. Okay? So please evaluate this session at https://tinyurl.com/global education 1. Okay? And of course, sama po ako sa Indonesia. A lot of teachers now would want to go to Indonesia. We'll definitely try to arrange that, and we hope to meet, of course, no, our superstar, Sir Steven Sutantro, in Indonesia. Okay, so we'll see about that. Okay? If we have budget, no, why not? Okay, so teachers, please do let me know if the link is working or if you can evaluate using the link so that you can receive your certificate for this session. Okay, don't forget that we will be sending your certificates in 5 to 7 days after our session today. Okay? So just waiting for a confirmation from our teachers, okay? If the link is working. It's working according to teacher Jomar Carpena and teacher Jeffrey Beltran. Thank you so much. So we'll see you again, teachers, okay, on Saturday for our second installment of our March series on global education. Globalized education, um, global thinking, acting locally. Okay, so we'll see you again on Saturday. Okay, thank you, teachers. And stay negative from COVID-19, but stay positive in life. Okay, thank you.